Hello folks and welcome back. Brandon here with Slingmods.com, and today we have our Chaser Headlight Accent Kit for the 2020 Newer Polaris Slingshot. As you may have already noticed, we love lighting mods here at Slingmods, and Chaser LEDs in particular, because they completely transform your slingshot and are perfect for attending bike nights or just showing off to your friends. So today we're happy to introduce our TricLED Chaser Headlight Accent Kit for the 2020 Newer Polaris Slingshot Models. Now, this kit features LED chaser lighting strips with inverted LEDs, allowing the light to project inward, illuminating your factory headlight housing. These flexible lighting strips are of course cut to length and encased in our patent-pending smoke tube design for a stealthy look once installed and when the lights are off. The included remote control gives you access to over 60 pre-programmed illumination options, including both solid colors as well as an array of dancing light themes for a show-stopping display of illumination. There's even a demo mode that will automatically cycle through all the patterns if you don't feel like fumbling around with the included remote. So now that you know what this mod is and what it can do, let's get started with the installation on our Shop 2020 Slingshot R model. Please note that before we begin, you will need one of our aftermarket fuse blocks before the installation of this mod. Our aftermarket fuse blocks, such as our FZ1, will provide you with fuse circuit protection, making the installation of 12-volt accessories a much simpler process. Luckily, we've already installed an FZ1 aftermarket fuse block on this particular slingshot and have mounted it here under the hood, which will be our power source for this mod. Now, the manufacturer recommends adding a little dielectric grease to all connection points to help prevent against corrosion that may build up over time. Start by opening your hood. Then take an alcohol prep pad and clean around the outer border of your top headlight, letting it sit for a minute to dry, before going over the same surface area with the included primer wipe. Once that's dry, take one of the longer LED lighting strips and peel back a small portion of adhesive backing tape closest to the wired end. Line it up with the top left corner of the light, and then press down firmly to adhere into place, peeling back small sections of backing tape as you go. If your slingshot came equipped with these lower gap filler lights like our Slingshot R, then you'll need to remove them by first unclipping the power plug from behind. Then unscrew these two 11mm nuts. So that you can push that gap filler light forward and out. Now line up your LED strip to the flat end of the light with the wired end on the opposite side of the rounded edge, just so you can see how it's going to fit, before cleaning the surface area with an alcohol prep pad and letting it sit for a minute to dry, before going over the same surface area with the included primer wipe. And then once that's dry, peel back a small section of the protected backing tape closest to the wired end, line it up so that it's centered, and then press down firmly to adhere into place, peeling back small sections of backing tape as you go. Now this is going to be a tight fit, so the manufacturer recommends using a little dab of lubricant that's safe for use on both plastic and rubber that you can use on the two bigger square ends to help slide it in place. Next, you can insert the light back into the opening, making sure that the wire from your LED strip is coming out through the top opening behind the panel. And that the studs on the back are lined up with the 2 holes on your lower gap filler, before carefully pressing it back into place and securing it down with the 2 11mm nuts, making sure not to over tighten. And then plugging it back into the bike. Now you can add the small extension to the top LED strip, attaching one of the 1-2 splitters to the other end, so that you can plug the lower LED strip into the other open end on the splitter. Then plug in the long extension wire and feed it alongside the factory harness across and back to your aftermarket fuse block. And now you can repeat that same process for the other side by first cleaning the outer border of the top light, and then going over the same surface area with the primer wipe, letting it sit for a minute to dry, before attaching your LED strip in small sections at a time. Then unclip the power from your lower gap filler light and unscrew the 2 11mm nuts so you can push it forward and out. Then clean the flat side of the light and go over the same surface area with a primer wipe, letting it sit for a minute to dry before adding the LED strip. Now remember to add a little dab of lubricant that's safe for use on both plastic and rubber to the 2 square ends, so that you can carefully slide it back into position, securing it down with the 2 10mm nuts, making sure not to over tighten, and plugging it back into the bike. Next, plug in the small extension to the top LED. Add a 1-2 splitter. Plug in the bottom LED to that splitter, before attaching the last extension and routing it alongside the factory wiring harness up to your aftermarket fuse block. Where you'll then add the last 1-2 splitter, attaching both the left and right side extensions before plugging it into your module box. Now this mod is compatible with and without our Chaser wheel light kit. If you do not have our Chaser wheel light kit installed, you'll use the 3-plug module box that came with your Chaser headlight kit, which is capable of supporting both your Chaser headlights as well as the optional underglow kit. Now if you do already have our Chaser wheel lights installed, you'll need to use the module box that was included with that kit, because that module box is capable of supporting the Chaser headlight kit, optional underglow kit, as well as the Chaser wheel light kit. So since we're not running our chaser wheel light kit on this particular slingshot, we'll be using the module box that was included with this headlight kit. The module box is responsible for sending the lighting signal to your chaser LEDs, and it's also what receives the signal from the included remote control through this little doily right here. Now you'll notice that the module box included with the chaser headlight kit has 3 plugs, one of which is labeled transformer and will not be used in this application, but will need to be capped off with the included plug that looks like this. The next plug you'll need to locate is labeled halo ring. This plug will need to be converted from a 3-pin plug to a 4-pin plug for the 2020 and up slingshot models. So to do that, simply use the 3 to 4-pin adapter included with the kit, then plug the 3-pin end into the halo ring plug. Next, you'll see that the 3rd plug says Kit 1 Underground, which will only be used if you opted for our optional Chaser Underglow kit, which expands the illumination of the chaser headlights to the underbody of the slingshot. Now we won't be installing that underglow kit in this video since we've already done that in a previous video, which I'll link for you in the description below. Then finally, you can plug the 4-pin adapter plug we already connected to the module box into the 1:2 splitter, and connect the red power wire to the positive end of the fuse block, followed by the black negative end. And then you can go back through and zip tie any excess wiring up and out of the way of any and all moving parts. Okay, so now that the installation is complete, let's take a look at our handiwork and go over some of the features and functionality of the remote. Now to turn them on, simply press the A button, and then to cycle through all the different light sequences, press the A button again. If you want to go back to the previous light sequence, press the B button. Now the speed of the sequences can be controlled by pressing the C button, and then to turn them all off, press the D button. So if lighting up your slingshot with custom tailored chaser LED lights is on your mod list, then be sure to head on over to slingmods.com today or click the link in the description below to grab a chaser headlight kit for your slingshot. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so I can keep you up to date on everything slingshot. I'm Brandon, signing out. Until next time.